Good morning. I'm back from spring break. Okay. No, now we're going to really start moving forward with this little project. We'll have more as the week goes on. That's what this is sort of about. The Trump administration is asking the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals to prevent District Judge James Boasberg from looking into last weekend's flights of alleged gang members to a prison in El Salvador. Boasberg is angry that his order to turn the flights around was not followed, and his reason was that the courts should decide if President Trump can use the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to claim the gang members are at war with the U.S., therefore not subject to due process. However, you might have missed that on Friday, as President Trump was heading off to a weekend at his Bedminster resort and going to NCAA wrestling finals in Philadelphia, he was asked about being certain all of the detainees sent to an uncertain future at that prison were gang members, with his signing the invocation of the old law. And here's what Trump replied.
I don't know when it was signed because I didn't sign it. Other people handled it.
Okay, if you are lawyers for the plaintiffs who wanted Boasberg to issue an injunction to stop the transfer of 260-plus individuals, you might run with that in your next filing. The White House put out a statement Trump really meant that he had not signed the original law in 1798. No one figured he had. However, as most of the alleged gang members are from Venezuela, that country's Maduro government quickly stepped in and said it would take Venezuelan deportees via direct flights to avoid their native peoples from being abused in El Salvador. Stay tuned. The Democratic infighting continues. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer telling NBC's Meet the Press he will not quit that post. Progressive Democrats especially are angry with Schumer for giving cover to other Dems to avoid a government shutdown nearly 2 weeks ago without forcing any kind of compromise regarding what Trump is doing to the federal government. Moving forward with the legislation would require at least 60 votes. Schumer maintains a shutdown would have let Elon Musk and Doge go wild by declaring agencies closed for good and that there was no leverage he and others could use. But Progressive Caucus member Representative Ro Khanna of California on CNN proclaimed the American people are fed up with the old guard. However, it's a message that Senator Bernie Sanders, one of the oldest members of the Senate, took to several stops during the recess last week. With Ear on the White House, I'm Bob Costantini.